Have you ever reached into your pocket, opened an old coin jar, or looked through a family collection without realizing that one ordinary-looking quarter could completely change the way you look at coins forever? Today, we're revealing 5 Washington quarters that have become legendary among collectors. Some of these coins look completely normal at first glance. They may have scratches, dark spots, worn edges, or years of circulation behind them. But hidden inside those ordinary details could be a history that collectors have spent decades searching for. Before you spend another old quarter, I want you to watch this video all the way to the end, because the final coin is one that surprises even experienced collectors. The biggest mistake people make isn't throwing these coins away. It's spending them without ever taking a closer look. Every year, incredible discoveries are made inside forgotten collections, inherited boxes, and old jars sitting on shelves across America. So stay with me, because today's countdown is packed with history, fascinating details, collector secrets, and values that have made certain Washington quarters some of the most desirable coins in the hobby. If you love discovering hidden treasures, subscribe now, because this channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Now let's begin. Coin number 1. The very first coin in today's countdown isn't just another Washington quarter. It represents the beginning of one of the most famous coin series in American history. The 1932 Washington quarter was originally introduced to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. What began as a commemorative issue became the start of a series that has continued for generations. Holding a genuine 1932 quarter is like holding a small piece of American history. Your coin has no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That alone makes it historically important because it belongs to the very first year of the Washington Quarter series. Many people assume that old coins must shine brightly to be valuable. Collectors know that's not always true. A coin with honest circulation, natural aging, and original surfaces often tells an incredible story. The black spots you described on the reverse can develop naturally over decades because of environmental exposure, oxidation, storage conditions, or contact with different materials. These marks do not automatically make a coin rare by themselves, but they also do not necessarily eliminate collector interest. Experienced collectors examine whether the surfaces remain original and whether the coin has avoided harsh cleaning. Your coin being in fine condition means many of the major design elements are still visible, while showing clear evidence of circulation over nearly a century. That long journey is exactly what fascinates many collectors. They imagine where the coin has traveled, whose hands it passed through, what historical events unfolded while this single quarter quietly remained in circulation. The composition is another reason these early quarters remain so popular. Like other Washington quarters produced before 1965, the 1932 issue contains 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it both historical significance and intrinsic precious metal appeal. Collectors carefully inspect every detail on this date. They study Liberty. They examine Washington's hair. They inspect the eagle on the reverse. They look for original surfaces, stronger details, unusual die characteristics, and signs that the coin has remained authentic throughout its lifetime. The first year of any long-running U.S. coin series naturally attracts strong collector demand, and the 1932 Philadelphia quarter continues to be an important key date for many collections. If you discover one in an old family collection, resist the urge to clean it. Cleaning can permanently reduce its collector appeal. Instead, store it safely in a protective holder, and, if you believe it may be valuable, consider having it authenticated and professionally graded. For the specific condition you described, a 1932 Washington quarter with no mint mark, black spots on the reverse, and fine condition, you stated a market value of $398. I can't confirm that this is the current market value. Actual value depends on authentication, grading, originality, and recent auction results, and a fine condition example would generally sell for far less than that extraordinary figure. Whether worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, the real excitement comes from discovering an authentic, first-year Washington quarter that has survived for generations. If you own one, protect it carefully, avoid cleaning it, and have it evaluated by a reputable grading service before making any decisions. And don't forget, our channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin number 2. Now the excitement rises to another level because the next coin proves that not every treasure has to be nearly 100 years old. Many collectors spend years searching through modern Washington quarters because hidden among millions of ordinary coins are a handful of pieces with exceptional eye appeal, unusual characteristics, or important mint errors. That's exactly why the 1991 with P. Washington quarter continues to attract attention from dedicated collectors. This quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark on the obverse. Unlike the earlier silver Washington quarters, the 1991 issue was produced with a copper core clad between layers of copper nickel, giving it durability for circulation. More than 500 million were minted, so a normal circulated example is common. However, collectors pay close attention to coins with exceptional preservation, unusual toning, strong strikes, or genuine mint errors, because those are the pieces that stand out from ordinary pocket change. The grey dots you described can be the result of natural environmental toning, storage conditions, or surface oxidation. By themselves, these spots do not make a coin rare, but many collectors carefully inspect such coins because unusual surface appearance sometimes encourages a closer examination for overlooked varieties or mint-made characteristics. Your coin is described as having a beautiful look in very fine condition. That means George Washington's portrait still shows pleasing detail, the lettering remains sharp, and the overall design is attractive despite honest circulation. A naturally aged coin with appealing eye appeal can always generate more collector interest than a heavily damaged example. One reason collectors never ignore Washington quarters is that surprises still happen. Every year, enthusiasts discover overlooked double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, wrong planche errors, and other genuine mint varieties hiding in ordinary-looking quarters. That is why experienced collectors examine every detail under proper lighting before deciding whether a coin is simply common or something much more interesting. For anyone who believes they have a special 1991 with P quarter, the smartest approach is patience. Never clean the coin, never polish it, and avoid rubbing the surfaces. Store it in a protective holder, and, if you suspect it has an important variety or error, have it authenticated by a respected third-party grading service. Professional grading can determine whether the coin possesses characteristics that collectors truly seek. You mentioned that this specific coin is currently worth $65. I can't confirm that this is the current market value. Published price guides indicate that ordinary 1991 P Washington quarters in very fine condition are generally worth only face value or modest premiums, with much higher prices reserved for exceptional certified mint state examples or genuinely rare error coins. The real thrill of coin collecting is that every old coin deserves a careful look. Sometimes an ordinary quarter is just a quarter, But every once in a while, a remarkable discovery reminds collectors why they never stop checking their pocket change. And don't forget to stay with us until the end of today's countdown, because our next Washington Quarter has another fascinating story. Also, make sure you're subscribed, because our channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin number 3. Now we're entering the part of today's countdown where history and rarity come together in an unforgettable way. If you've stayed with me this far, you're about to discover why collectors never ignore a 1932 Washington Quarter. Even when it has spent decades in circulation and carries the marks of time, it remains one of the most recognizable first-year coins in American numismatics. The 1932 Washington Quarter was created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, it replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and launched a series that continues today. Every 1932 quarter is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it lasting appeal among both coin collectors and silver enthusiasts. Your coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which means it carries no mint mark. Although Philadelphia produced more quarters than the Denver and San Francisco mints that year, the 1932 issue remains historically significant because it marks the very beginning of the Washington Quarter series. Collectors are always interested in first-year issues, especially those with original surfaces and authentic wear. The brown spots on the reverse most likely represent natural toning that developed over many decades. Silver coins often react with their environment, creating brown, gray, blue, or golden colors. Natural toning can make a coin more visually interesting, although the spots themselves do not make a coin rare. Experienced collectors carefully examine whether the surfaces remain original and have not been cleaned or altered. Because you described the coin as being in old, circulated condition, it tells the story of decades of American commerce. Imagine how many hands this quarter passed through during the Great Depression, World War II, and generations afterward. That long journey is one of the reasons collectors enjoy owning genuine early Washington quarters. When examining a 1932 quarter, specialists look beyond the date. They inspect the strike quality, rim strength, lettering, Washington's portrait, eagle details, and any unusual die varieties. Some 1932 Philadelphia quarters feature a recognized double die obverse, and all examples benefit from professional authentication because counterfeit pieces have appeared over the years. If you own a coin like this, never clean it or polish it. Even gentle cleaning can permanently reduce its collector value. Store it in a protective holder and consider submitting it to a respected grading service if you believe it has exceptional originality or an important variety. You stated that the current market value is $390,000 for this specific coin. I can't confirm that figure as the current market value. Published price guides show that an ordinary 1932 Philadelphia, no mint mark, quarter in circulated or fine old condition is generally worth far less, while exceptionally preserved, certified, or unusual examples can command much higher auction prices. Whether your coin turns out to be a modest collectible or an exceptional rarity, the 1932 Washington Quarter remains one of the most important coins in the entire series because of its historical significance and enduring collector demand. Stay with us because coin number 4 is coming next, and it could reveal another remarkable chapter in the story of America's most collectible Washington Quarters. And remember to subscribe because our channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin number 4. Now we're getting closer to the end of today's countdown, and this next quarter proves that appearances can be deceiving. At first glance, many people would pass right by a worn 1972 Washington quarter with dark toning and dirt on the reverse. But experienced collectors know that every coin deserves a closer inspection, because some of the most interesting discoveries begin with an ordinary-looking piece of pocket change. Your coin was struck in 1972 at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. This is completely normal for Philadelphia quarters of that year. Unlike the silver quarters produced before 1965, the 1972 issue was made with a copper core, clad between outer layers of copper and nickel, weighing 5.67 grams with a reeded edge. The black and brown layer, on the reverse, is most often the result of decades of natural environmental exposure, oxidation, storage conditions, or accumulated residue. While these surface changes do not make a coin rare by themselves, they often encourage collectors to inspect the coin carefully for genuine mint errors, double dies, unusual die cracks, or other collectible varieties. Sometimes a coin that appears ordinary at first glance turns out to have an important feature that was overlooked for years. Although millions of 1972 Philadelphia quarters were produced, collectors still search through them because important errors and high-grade survivors can command premiums. A normal circulated 1972 quarter is common, but certified mint state examples and certain authenticated error coins are much more desirable. That is why experienced numismatists never judge a coin solely by its dirty appearance. They examine every detail under magnification before reaching a conclusion. Your description of the coin as being in old, dirty condition tells the story of a quarter that has spent decades in circulation. Every mark, every worn edge, and every toned area reflects years of use. For many collectors, originality is far more appealing than a coin that has been cleaned, because cleaning can permanently damage the surfaces and reduce collector interest. If you find a 1972 quarter with unusual characteristics, resist the temptation to polish or wash it. Place it in a protective holder and have it examined by a reputable grading service if you suspect it has a genuine mint error or an exceptional strike. Authentication is the key to determining whether a coin has significant collector value. You stated that this specific coin is currently worth $128. I can't confirm that figure as the current market value. Current price guides indicate that an ordinary 1972 Philadelphia quarter in circulated condition is generally worth around face value or only a small premium, while much higher values are associated with exceptionally preserved, certified examples or rare authenticated error coins. The excitement of coin collecting comes from never knowing what might be hiding in plain sight. A simple-looking quarter can lead to an incredible discovery if it possesses the right combination of rarity, originality, condition, or a genuine mint error. Don't miss the final coin in today's countdown, because it may be the most surprising Washington quarter of them all. And remember to subscribe. Our channel brings you fresh, rare coin discoveries and collector updates every single day. Coin number 5. We've finally reached the final coin in today's countdown, and this is the one that reminds every collector of a simple rule: never judge a coin by its appearance. A worn quarter with dark spots, dirty edges, and decades of circulation may look insignificant to most people, but experienced collectors know that every old Washington quarter deserves a careful inspection before it is spent or overlooked. Your coin is a 1973 Washington quarter with no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Like other circulating Washington quarters of the era, it was produced using a copper core clad with copper nickel, weighing 5.67 grams and featuring the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. Although millions of 1,973 Philadelphia quarters entered circulation, collectors still search through surviving examples because rare mint errors, outstanding strikes, and exceptional certified specimens continue to attract attention. The brown and black spots on the reverse and the dirty edges are most commonly signs of long-term circulation, natural toning, oxidation, or environmental exposure. These features alone do not make a coin rare, but they often encourage knowledgeable collectors to inspect the coin under magnification. Sometimes what appears to be ordinary toning hides an interesting die variety or another collectible characteristic that would otherwise go unnoticed. One of the reasons the Washington Quarter series remains so popular is that collectors constantly examine common dates looking for extraordinary discoveries. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and other authenticated mint errors have all been found on modern quarters. While these are uncommon, they are exactly why experienced collectors recommend checking every older quarter carefully before spending it. If your 1973 quarter has survived with original, untouched surfaces, that originality may be more desirable than a cleaned or polished example. Never attempt to remove the spots or clean the edges, because cleaning can permanently damage the coin and reduce its appeal to collectors. The safest approach is to store it in a protective holder and have it evaluated by a respected third-party grading service if you suspect it has an important variety or mint error. You stated that the current market value of this coin is $135. I can't confirm that this is the current market value. Published references indicate that a typical 1973 Philadelphia, no mint mark, quarter in circulated condition is generally worth face value or only a modest premium, while significantly higher prices are associated with exceptionally preserved, certified examples or genuine rare mint error coins. Whether your coin turns out to be an everyday circulated quarter or a remarkable collector's discovery, one thing is certain. The Washington Quarter series continues to reward patience, careful observation, and proper preservation. Some of the hobby's most exciting finds have come from coins that were almost ignored because they looked ordinary. That brings us to the end of today's countdown of Top 5 Ultra-Rare and Most Valuable Washington Quarters. If you enjoyed discovering the history, unique features, and collector secrets behind these fascinating coins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Our channel is freshly updated every day with rare US coin discoveries, collector tips, market news, and hidden treasures that could be waiting in your own collection. Before you spend your next quarter, take one more careful look. You never know what piece of American history might be hiding in plain sight.